In the Victorian world of steam, dreadnoughts, and occult horrors, Zamanguri awakens as climber ready. He walks a razor's edge between light and darkness, entangled with warring churches. This is the legend of a limited potential and unspeakable danger. This is a synopsis on my anime list for Lord of the Mysteries, and it does fuck all to convey the craziness of this anime, donghua, whatever. Actually, the vagueness of the description might actually be a good thing, because if it tried its hand at capturing the scale of the series, it would be a whole essay long. That is just how dense this work is, and that's not always a good thing, honestly. I want to start with my main complaint, because I think it's the component most controversial in the series, and also the most important when trying to do a review, and that is the pacing. Oh my god, the people are divided as to whether or not the fast pacing ruins one's experience. I've seen novel readers complaining about how terribly fast it ran through the first volume. I've seen other novel readers complaining about how other people simply just lack brain cells. Personally, I am not familiar with the source material, however I did watch the entire show alongside someone who was, and I have mixed feelings about the pacing. If you didn't know, the studio had to rush the first 3 episodes to reach the clown fights in order to abide by the 3-episode rule and hook viewers in. And so the first few episodes are lightning fast, blitzing by everything. But I actually thought it was not as bad as people said it to be. It was confusing, don't get me wrong, and I asked a lot of questions to my homie, but honestly, the vast majority of those questions were directed either to things that were about to be answered in the current episode, in future episodes, and fundamental mysteries that even my friend didn't even know about. From a story standpoint, yes, I did think it was indeed rushed and missing detail, but not impossible to follow by any means. My problem comes from characterization. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, most of the cast are not great characters for me, and that stems from how little time we get to spend with them. Klein, all these fucking episodes later, still feels pretty bland and uninteresting. We just don't know a lot about him. Not terrible by any means, but just not great either. Some characters feel like they just pop in and die 1 or 2 episodes with little to no impact for me because we just don't see them enough. The anime puts so much emphasis on the story and the world building that it neglects its characters for the most part, and that genuinely sucks because it lessens the impacts of some crucial deaths that should have hit harder than it already did, and also ruins the setup for some honestly interesting ass side characters. Azik is a very fascinating character, and yet I'm not really attached to him in the way that I would like to be. I saw a review video from Books and Tropes, and she used a really good word to describe the cast: serviceable. They work enough to push the plot along, but none of them are particularly memorable. And yeah, that's a really big flaw of the series, and definitely deserves this mention in this video. But that's it really, that's really the only complaint I have, and let's just get into the things I like. The production is absolutely earth-shattering, okay? The directing style is incredible, so much tension is built with a cut of the music and a slight pause, followed by a mind-bendingly beautiful sequence of CG and 2D brilliance. Seriously, Leonard's moment in episode 2 is some of the hypest I've been all year. It is exhilarating. The animation is splendid in every way. Oh my god, just the imagery, the pure idea that these guys use and build upon, and the execution is so good. It's perfect. Dun's death with all the flowers is goddamn gorgeous. It is stunning. And all of this is backed with an equally hard-hitting soundtrack. I, as an audience member, feel like I was about to be attacked through the screen with some of these compositions. They are fucking grand and eerie and ominous and low-key dangerous to listen to with how impactful they are. I was moved so many times purely on the soundtrack alone. Lord of the Mysteries is visually stunning and audibly orgasmic, but what about the lore? Multiple secret organizations, all originating from different places and with their own sets of principles and nefarious goals. Gods that are named multiple times yet remain ever elusive. An emperor praised for his achievements but might have come from Earth. History that stretches back whole eras, each one having more mysterious content than the last. A mysterious mountain range that holds untold secrets. And at the center of it all, a notebook with mysteriously dangerous content and an isekai protagonist who reincarnated into a body of a man who, moments before, killed himself. There is so much to the world of Lord of the Mysteries, and I love how Klein, the protagonist, isn't the center of it all, nor are only the same 5 characters having importance. This is a lived-in universe with pre-existing rules and history and lore that precedes where the story starts. It always feels like there are hundreds of moving parts at once. Just because our main cast are just chilling and living life doesn't mean the villains in our current episode and our current arc or even in future storylines are not plotting or enacting their next move. That sense of scale is through the roof of this one and is easily the best part of the show. I love the world building. It is so well thought and executed. The story is also a big mindfuck. Oh my god, the twists and turns in this one really require some critical thinking, and I love how interconnected everything is. You might think this thing would happen just for something out of the blue to occur and turn your entire board of theories over, and yet it still makes more sense the way it was told. The story really relies on visual storytelling and a lot of implications instead of outright telling you things. And I won't lie, I was very confused at certain points, but I also really liked this approach because it was really rewarding to call certain things out. And not getting spoon-fed crucial points makes it overall more engaging. Seeing the last act of the last episode with the wooden dolls was confusing at first until I remembered the quill and the wanted poster, and I connected all of that shit to who this motherfucker was. And then I also realized that that's why there's always this feather motif surrounding important events in every single episode. It's because this is the reality he was altering. That is so fucking cool and well foreshadowed. Again, moving parts, the mystery never lets up, and I think it's brilliantly done and thrilling to watch unfold. So fucking good. The power system is excellent, so many different pathways and sequences, and I think the powers for each one is unique, versatile, and fucking eye-candy to watch. I already spoken about my goat Leonard, but Dunn's flashy nightmare spells, the creepy iridescence of Klein's seer powers, and Isaac's big-ass skeleton summon, that's just dope, okay, period. And again, the animation, coupled with this power system, makes for some very, very fun fights to watch. And yeah, that's my review of Lord of the Mysteries. It does have a major flaw of having pretty poor characters, but it still does so much for me. But of course, this is just my opinion. I know this is a very controversial anime. I know a lot of people have their own mixed feelings about it, so let me know what you guys think. And please don't just blindly hate on it or mindlessly glaze it. Please give some explanation, some constructive criticism. I really need an explanation because I think it's way more interesting and productive for discussion. And yeah, all that being said, thank y'all for watching. See you next time, and peace.